Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I am so excited to be filming again, and I do hope to film a little more frequently since I have graduated high school. I'm taking a little vacation, and so I'm just enjoying life right now. Today, we are going to be reading thrifted books for a week. We are going to see if we can find some good books at the thrift and read them. I already have a few books that I have already picked up, so I will show you those, and then maybe we can go to the thrift store that's really close by and we can pick up some new books for me to read throughout the week. Without further ado, let's just get right on in the video. Okay, we got the books. I got Don Quixote. Please don't come at me if I pronounced it wrong. I don't know exactly how it's pronounced, but I read this in 5th grade, and obviously it was the abridged version, so I'm excited to read the full version. It's basically just about Don Quixote's adventures and him going delusional a little bit. The next book I have is The Mayor of Casterbridge by Thomas Hardy. Basically, it's about this guy who, while drunk, sells his wife and daughter. And then the next two books are the ones that I'm currently reading. I'm not that far into them. First, we have David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. It's sort of autobiographical of his childhood. We're just following David Copperfield, who's a little boy, and he struggles, and we're taken along on that journey. And then the last book I have is Sister Song by Lucy Holland. It is based on a myth, I think a British myth, called the Trois Sisters. I haven't actually read the myth. It's a ballad, it's a song. This book is about 3 sisters and their journey to save their land and the people. So pretty exciting. I think we're going to start with Sister Song, and hopefully we can finish this one today. Let's just get to reading. Okay, I'm about 20 pages shy of the middle of the book, and it feels like a lot has happened, but also nothing has happened. It feels like we're kind of in the same spot, but hopefully it'll pick up in the last half of the book. Okay, we're going to continue reading. So I'm about 3/4 of the way done with Sister Song. I'm really excited to see how the story evolves and ends up going, because now I'm on the edge of my seat. And usually when this happens, I end up wanting to switch to another book for a little bit. I don't know why. I usually have a few books going at a time. So we're going to spend some time reading the second book that I have, which is David Copperfield. We're going to sit and read this. We will come back in a little bit. I have about 80 pages left in this book, and it is definitely picked up. I'm super excited to see how it ends and how it all plays out. I'm hoping to whip this out by the end of the day, so let's just get to reading. Okay, I have finished Sister Song. Finally, it kind of took me a long time for this book. Usually it takes me about a day to read these books, but it took me 3 days. I think I'm gonna give this book 3.5 stars. It definitely went the way that I thought it would go. It is based on a myth, so that probably has something to do with it, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't my favorite. It was just okay. I finally went to the thrift store. I was going to film in the thrift store, but I chickened out. Maybe one day I will be brave enough to do that, but today is not that day. So let's just go through the books and tell you why I got them. First one I got was Why Would I Lie by Addie Rule. I thought this would be a nice, easy book to read. This book is basically about this girl who is trying to uncover that this guy is a fraud in high school, I think. Next, Hidden in Plain View by Jacqueline L. Tobin and Raymond G. Dobard, Ph.D. It's history during the Underground Railroad. People would make codes in the quilts, so I thought I would read more about that. Rose Marked by Leva Blackburn. Honestly, I kind of just got this book because it was dual POV. This person gets the deadly rose plague, so she has to basically say goodbye to everyone. Got a spy on the Capitol. It says it's a sweeping fantasy with a political edge and a slow-burning romance. Don't really care about romance that much, but I'm okay if it's a subplot. Can't Wait to Get to Heaven by Fanny Flagg. Didn't really read the back of this book. I just thought it was kind of, the cover looked nice. It was kind of something different. Felt very literary fiction, which I've been trying to get into because I don't think I've ever really read a literary fiction book. I can't tell you much about this one. Major Pettigrew's Last Stand. A little pesky sticker on there. It's about these two people that I don't even know. This guy's brother dies. It sparks a friendship with a girl. They love literature and they both have lost their spouses. I think it's a romance, which I didn't look into, but it's okay. Maybe it'll be good, and if it's not, then it's okay. It was only 50 cents. Cat Under Fire by Shirley Rizal Murphy. This cat got this ability to understand and talk human speech, and his girlfriend, the cat girlfriend, also got this ability. She suspects that the person that killed another person wasn't actually the person that killed that person, if you get what I'm saying. I found a classic, so obviously I had to pick it up. It's Kidnapped by Robert Louis Stevenson. I can't remember what other book he wrote that's like really famous. I slipped off the top of my head. If I find it, I'll just put it over here somewhere. I don't think if I'm being honest with you, I barely read the backs of books. I kind of just skim it and I'm like, yeah, without really noticing what it is. It's about this orphan called David Balfour, and he becomes involved in Scotland's struggle for independence. So, slay. And the last book I got was The Road by Cormac McCarthy. I feel like this is a pretty popular book. I feel like I've seen it places. I needed a dystopian novel for my book club because it's book bingo, so it's kind of like prompts, you gotta fill it out, and I'm trying to get a blackout, so I needed a dystopian, so I picked this one. The cover is kind of ugly though, like, I'm sorry, that guy's face is a little weird. It's a little windy, so I'm gonna try and hurry this up a little bit. It's currently 2:30 in the afternoon. Not the best start. I was hoping to get reading earlier, but I had to help in the garden, and that took a lot longer than I expected, and then I went to the thrift store and got some books. I don't know what book I want to read. If I want to continue David Copperfield from 2 days ago, the last time I read it, or if I want to start another book, maybe try and whip out most of it today, so that maybe I can finish it tomorrow. Maybe we'll do that. I feel like out of all of these, I'm most interested right now to read The Road. So I think we're gonna read that. I'm officially halfway through this book. So far it's been pretty interesting, and so far it kind of just feels like we're following day to day what happens. The only thing that kind of bugs me in this book is there's no quotation marks. It's not enough where I'm like gonna DNF the book, but it is slightly annoying. So if you ever read this book, just keep that in mind when you're reading it. Okay, I'm gonna be a little bit quieter because it's 9 o'clock at night, but I just finished The Road. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. It was really good. It definitely felt more like we were just going through daily events, which is totally fine. It was crazy. Honestly, the ending was kind of crazy. I don't want to spoil too much, but I feel like a lot of people should read the book, you know? Like, it's a Pulitzer Prize winner for a reason. It is Thursday. This morning I decided I wanted to read another book that wasn't David Copperfield, probably because then I can finish more books in this video, but also just because I'm not really in the mood to read something that's 900 pages right now, no matter how much I love it. So the book we are reading this morning is Rosemarked. I very badly described what the book was about yesterday, but maybe I'll just read the synopsis this time so you can get a better understanding. A healer who cannot be healed. When Ziva falls prey to the deadly rose plague, she knows it's only a matter of time before she fully succumbs. Now she's destined to live her last days in isolation, cut off from her people and unable to practice her art, until a threat to her village creates a need that only she can fill. And then, because it's dual POV, so then this is the second POV. A soldier shattered by war. Broken by torture at the hands of the Amparian Empire, Dinius thirsts for revenge against his captors. Now escaped and reunited with his tribe, he'll do anything to free them from Amparian rule, even if it means undertaking a plan that risks not only his life, but his very self. Thrust together on a high-stakes mission to spy on the capital, the two couldn't be more different. Ziva, deeply committed to her vow of healing, and Dinius, yearning for vengeance. But as they grow closer, they must find common ground if they want to protect those they love. And amidst the constant fear of discovery, the two grapple with a mutual attraction that could break both of their carefully guarded hearts. I just thought it sounded really interesting. Right now I'm on page 39. I hope to get 1/4 of the way through, which is page 98, and then we will go from there. Voiceover Kenzie here. On Thursday, I decided to do some work in the gardens. That's what you're seeing here, and I also listened to the audiobook, so I had a really fun time doing that. Just a little update, I'm now halfway through the book. It's definitely interesting to see how this has been playing out. The plan that they have in motion is definitely in motion now, and so I'm just curious to see how the rest of the book goes and how they accomplish their goals. Let's continue reading. I have finished Rosemarked. I think I'm gonna rate it at 3.75 stars. I really did like it, and I definitely want to continue the series, which going into this, I didn't know it was part of a series. There were aspects of it that were different from other books that I've read. Specifically, the plague that was in it. It just felt very different, and I liked how that was incorporated into everything. I decided, again, we're not going to be reading David Copperfield. We're going to read Cat Under Fire. It still seems really interesting. I have since learned that this is actually the second book in a series, but they work as standalones. They're interconnected books. I don't think I need the first book to read this book, you know? I don't think there's going to be any information that will require me to read the first book first. If I like this book, then maybe I can invest in the first book because it tells me why they can speak human language. Let's just read this book. It is the last day of the business week. It's Friday. This is a little bit of a later update. It is currently 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I finished Cat Under Fire by Shirley Rosal Murphy. It was really good. It was definitely giving cozy mystery, which I actually really love. I really want to read the other books now, but I definitely want to figure out how they got their abilities to talk to humans, which I think it describes in the first book. I'm gonna give this a 4.5. It definitely had less of a plot than the books I am used to for the most part, but it was something different for me to try and I really enjoyed it. And then I also had to edit last week's video and help in the garden at my grandparents', but while doing that, I listened to a little bit of David Copperfield. I think I got about a chapter and a half in during that time, so not too much reading, but we are definitely making our way through this big brick of a book. Next, I'm going to read another book. I want to try and finish one more book today or get close to it for Saturday. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, and for some reason I didn't bring it out here with me, but it's the one about Underground Railroad, so I think we're gonna read that one. I'm now halfway through the book. It is not exactly what I expected. I thought there was going to be more talk on the quotes, but I feel like half of it is different summaries. I still find it really interesting. They talk about how Africans would use unspoken word to communicate messages through Well, one of them was through a blacksmith. They had a rhythm that they would do and it would communicate messages. It definitely has me thinking about how creative people are, especially when it comes to unspoken communication. So I'm going to continue reading and we will see where it goes. I have finished Hidden in Plain View. I am really happy that I finished it. I definitely have a different perspective on quilts now, which is kind of cool. I feel like they could have gone more into the quilts just a little bit more. This will be the last book that I read in this video, which is really crazy because I started this 2 days from March and it's now April 3rd as of filming this, and I have finished 4 books in just April. That was just a random side note that I wanted to mention. I'll see you for the outro. I hope that you enjoyed this video. It took me all week to film, and I don't do that ever. So I'm really proud of myself for sticking to it, and also I hope that this video is a little bit more entertaining. If you like this video, you should maybe subscribe so I can make more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.